If you look at all the videos I've put out over the last 4 years, it's numbering over 2,000. That includes videos released to the public, behind the scenes, members only. And as you can imagine, my channel is about extreme content, mostly traveling and collecting, but I don't have 2,000 trips or 2,000 statues to talk about. So I have to create and come up with new content on a regular basis. Now, funny enough, most of the content I come up with, I actually do when I'm drunk on a plane, which is almost every week. The rest of it, weirdly enough, I come up with when I'm in the shower. That means I'm thinking about you guys when I'm in the shower. Hey, my name is Mr. X. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. We are giving away $1,000 statues to you guys. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. If you follow this channel for a while, you know that the main content of this channel is all about high-end collectibles. And that requires high-end collectibles to actually arrive on this table so I can unbox them and review them. Well, believe it or not, in this month of December, it almost looks like I have nothing coming in, even though a lot of stuff is supposed to. So I have to plan ahead. And in the last 4 years, I've had to do that many times. So I come up with creative stuff like top 10 lists or monthly episodes of Extreme Expos, which is now over 4 years old. Sometimes I have to get out of the box and think of other content because I like to deliver content every other day, no matter what. Now, I needed one more video to fill in this month because I planned stuff about a month in advance. And I couldn't figure out what should I talk about. And then it hit me. Why don't I talk about how I pick what I talk about? Because believe it or not, it's actually very strategic. Okay, that's not true at all. But I do have 10 rules, and rules might not be the right word, but processes that I kind of go through if I want to come up with a new idea. And I wanted to break those down for you today. I'm going to give you the 10 things I go through when I'm trying to create new content, and I typically go through them in this order. They have to hit bucket number 1, then bucket number 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so forth. So with that, first of all, pretty obvious, because this is my channel, it has to be something I'm passionate about, something I like. So if you go back through the videos, you're gonna see kind of 6 categories that I always talk about. Collecting and collectibles being the biggest one, travel being number 2, sports being number 3. By the way, on a side note, someone's like, you're always wearing Broncos gear on these videos. Well, I do a lot of filming on the weekend, that's why. Alcohol, number 4, and this one probably should have been lower on the list because family, I have a lot of stuff with my family, that's really important to me. And the last one, humor. Sometimes I just like to make humorous and funny videos. At least they're funny to me, but it's my channel. And I think a few of you chuckle here and there. So that's number 1 thing. I have to be passionate about it, otherwise I'm not gonna do it. Number 2. It has to be something I have semi-knowledge about. There's some things out there that I'm really passionate about, but I know not enough to talk to you guys. And I've been guilty of breaking this rule a few different times. A lot of that is when I get maybe a statue sent to me for free to review. Now, I don't get to keep those statues, but I don't know much about the character, so I'll usually do a little bit of research. But it has to be something I'm semi or decently knowledgeable about. Number 3, so this is the third thing I do when I'm trying to come up with content. I will generally walk through 2 things. I'm gonna look through my travel agenda, and then more importantly, I will actually walk around my collection room. And you can check out this collection tour from last year. We're gonna do one in mid-year 2024, because a lot has changed. But I look to see if I can come up with any creative ideas. I've done probably about 50 different top 10 lists. I believe when I started doing that 2 or 3 years ago, it started a trend where a lot of channels developed a very similar system. Which leads me to number 4. I try really hard not to copy what other channels have done. Sometimes it happens by accident, and I would say of those 2,000 videos, maybe 2 or 3 weren't an accident. I knew another channel had done very similar content, and I had copied it. You know, I'm very close to Gem Mint Collectibles. We actually have a podcast coming out this month that's not collectible related. You can check it out right here. But whenever he comes out with a new video that I did years ago that has an extremely similar title and the exact same concept, I will send him a picture of my thumbnail next to his, and then he'll respond with one that I did after him that copied one of his similar concepts. So I try really hard to do concepts that what other channels haven't done. So one of the things with that is all my videos have to include me on it. And that's not an ego thing, that's just who I am. I have to be part of the content because it's my channel. And along with that, it has to be original content that involves me. I don't want to just put out a video of somebody else or pull it down from another website or anything like that. It has to be something original to Mr. X or the Extreme channel. And believe it or not, I would say about 90% of the time when I start putting out content in a certain format and it gets copied by one or multiple other YouTubers, Most of the time, I actually stop doing that specific content because I don't want to be doing the same content, even if it's somebody else that's copying me. That's not always the case, but I would say 80–90% of the time it is. So if you ever see me doing a certain format and then I stop doing it, it's usually because someone else started doing it and I just don't want to have the same content. I like to come up with my own ideas. That's just me. Number 5, very similar to that, I have to do this all on my own, and I want to do it all on my own. So that involves me doing the video work, me doing the editing, me doing the content, me coming up with the content, me being in the video. I want to build this channel, whether it's peak now or it's going to peak in 5 years or 10 years, saying I did that on my own. It wasn't anybody else. Now, I've had other people on my YouTube channel as a guest. Again, you'll always see me involved doing the majority of the work. So number 6, and this is where I fail as a YouTube channel. You guys are probably tired of me saying I'm chasing 50,000 subscribers. I could probably be there if I moved number 6 to number 1. Number 6 is I try and think about what the audience will like, but not at the expense of the previous 5 things. So a lot of channels out there, and there's nothing wrong with this, they put this as number 1. They try and target towards their audience, which I do too, but I will not do it at the expense of the other things. I do what I like first because it's my channel. Remember, this is not a business for me. This is a hobby. I do it to have fun. I do it to enjoy myself. So number 6 is I try to think of what the audience would like. Number 7 ties into that a little bit. I try and think of what the non-audience would like. That means I try and think of what could bring in non-subscribers. And again, not at the expense of the other 6. My current viewing audience gets priority number 1. Actually, that's not true. They get priority number 6. But I think of this could be something good to bring in new subscribers. That's usually priority number 7. So I do think about that sometimes because I do want to grow the channel. Even though it's a hobby, it's fun to be a hobby that's winning. There's a lot of great channels in my space in collecting, travel. There's even more so that I can't even compete with. But I do consider about what would bring in new subscribers. It has to be a fun thing to record. So when I say this is a hobby, I enjoy actually recording what I'm doing right now. I enjoy being creative with the editing. So sometimes, believe it or not, I have more fun watching this while I'm editing it than you do. Kind of like sex. You know, Mrs. X and I, we have a few videos we did together that are coming out this month. We were actually watching them because she likes to watch the final product. I usually don't watch the final product of my videos. And we're just cracking up at us. We're like, you know, we probably are our biggest fans. We probably think we're funnier than anybody else. So it has to be something that I enjoy, not only recording, but editing, and then of course, if I do watch it. And number 9 ties back into that a little bit. I have to have creativity and humor in it. If I don't, it's not me, it's not enjoyable. If I'm a channel that gets just to the facts of whatever subject I'm talking about, that's not me. And because of that, I've actually received a lot of ridicule. I see a lot of comments on forums or social media how people don't like my humor. Then don't watch, dumbass. It's not that hard. I don't watch people I don't like, but you will always have that on this channel because it's who I am. It's part of me. And the last one, I have to have a great intro. Okay, great's probably the wrong word. I have to have an inappropriate or great intro. I love doing a lot of dry intros. I love adding humor to that. That is kind of my thing. I wish I was known better for it personally. It's the last priority. But as members can attest, those are people who have behind the scenes access to like raw stuff. Sometimes I will literally sit here, I'll turn on the camera, I know what I'm gonna talk about, and I'll be like, what can I do for an intro? And I think of it on the spot, or I think of it as I'm walking down here to the basement. So those are the 10 things I consider when I'm going to do a video, not only on what the subject will be, but how I'm going to accomplish it. So if you're a YouTube creator, hopefully this gives you some ideas. If you're a YouTube creator who copies stuff, stop. Or if you're thinking of getting into YouTube, this is not a formula for success for your YouTube channel to grow. This is a formula to have fun when you have your YouTube channel. I should have done a video on extras, you know, not the intro, but our outro. Maybe that's the right word, because it's always awkward. Kind of like sex. As we try to grow this channel, we like to reward you guys for watching and subscribing. So because of that, every 5,000 milestone when it comes to subscribers, we give away a couple $1,000s worth of statues. We've actually given away over 20 statues. To win one was easy. First, you gotta be subscribed to the channel. You'll get bell notifications when videos drop. Each video that drops, you wanna make a comment on those videos. We pick a random video, we give away statues based on a comment. You can say whatever you want. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching now, I know it's because you support the channel. Thank you so much. Please continue to support by subscribing. A lot of you haven't. Hit that like button and leave a comment so you can enter into the next giveaway. I appreciate you guys. I really do. You make this hobby fun for me.